We're finally at Liberty 4. After the huge reveals of Liberty 3, leaving us with a ton of questions, Liberty 4 answers a lot of them. Spoiler warning of course, if you have no idea what I'm talking about or would like to catch up again, please click the playlist in the upper right corner of my previous 2 videos about the lore up to this point, then get back to this video. The songs that have lore in them would be Rerule and The Castle of Bathory. Just from the titles of the songs, we now know Lirulu's name is actually Rerule, and the castle is of course called the Castle of Bathory. So just like before, we have to play the songs to unlock the story in story mode. Starting with Rerule, the chapter that you unlock by playing Rerule is talking about the same events as in the MV of Rerule, so we will be just talking about the story mode version. Rerule would actually be a retcon or supplement to the events in Oblivion, which came out in 2005 in DJMAX Online. Knowing what we know about the DJMAX multiverse, the Camilla and Priya of Oblivion and Rerule are most likely different worlds entirely, just like the clear and fails of different worlds that we're experiencing for the entirety of Liberty. In the original Oblivion, Priya is hardly present at all, and it focuses almost entirely on Camilla. You'll see that a lot of background and motivation is added towards the actions of the characters in Rerule compared to Oblivion. After being revived by a man with long blonde hair, several scenes play, possibly a flashback which includes Camilla standing over Priya, implying that Camilla had killed Priya at some point or was at least present at her death. Camilla also has trouble remembering Priya because the portrait she has is torn with only herself in it. There is a locket with the other half, but it is unclear who it belongs to, because it's kind of weird to carry a photo of only yourself, is it? Surely you'd be carrying around the portrait of the other person. And it is only upon discovering a huge portrait of the two of them does Camilla remember it all, but has already fallen under the influence of this man, who we now know as Lirulu. So now let's get into Rerule. When you unlock the story, its title is also Oblivion. Rerule opens with Lirulu holding Priya's face, who is in despair, and we drift into her memory, watching Camilla, her twin sister, who she is so jealous of because Camilla is so bright and perfect, who effortlessly possessed everything she wanted, including a relationship with an unknown blonde man that presumably Priya also desired. It then shifts to Priya again, who is in complete despair and under Lirulu's influence, but not control. Lirulu places a knife in her hands and she kills her sister. Lirulu, not wanting this moment to end, saves Camilla, pouring that bottle of wine onto the wound to revive her from the dead. Because Lirulu's authority isn't perfect, Camilla would need fresh blood to sustain her life. If not, she would stiffen up and lose her memories. She would black out and wake up to a bloody scene, the end result of her rampage for blood, and the despair from that makes her fall under Lirulu's influence even further. Lirulu did the funniest thing possible and brings Camilla to her own funeral with Priya there. What a funny guy. It turns out, after Camilla died, the blonde man also died soon after, and Camilla had no memory at all about being stabbed. She has a tearful reunion with her sister, and greets Lirulu as if it was the first time meeting him, but shoots him the most intense glare. Camilla explains to Priya that Lirulu is her savior, but we know the truth. Of course, now Priya has to pretend to be happy about the scenario and continue to live around the man who made her kill her sister, and the sister she was jealous enough of to kill. They have tea parties, go shopping for clothes, with Lirulu reveling in Priya's act while he knew the truth. Hey, hang on, wait, that looks like Starlight Daryl. They go on picnics. Those dresses are actually so cute, by the way. It then cuts to black and white, where Lirulu says that it wasn't so bad until this world met its end again. First of all, he says again, which means that the world has ended before. This could mean that the world that the original Oblivion was set in was the first world that ended. I mean, the game did die after all. It has been 20 years since then. There are 2 headstones where the twins were, and a giant woman with Jormungandr on her is the one responsible, and Lirulu has an expression of pure rage. Jormungandr who has even more authority than Lirulu, chose to end this world and wove the ending of the twins. This does reveal Jormungandr as a weaver, but previously we know that there are multiple weavers and Jormungandr is just one of them. She also mentions Dain being heartbroken and taking it out on the Sin, which is the collective name of who I've been calling the three beasts. Jormungandr continues and says that Lirulu should do a better job as a variable, and that was why she gave him authority in the first place. So Lirulu, in the grand scheme of the universe, is just a toy to Jormungandr to cause chaos and entertain her. The end of the world is quiet, and Lirulu senses Dain creating Clear and Fail, and the events that happened right before the start of the story, that destiny is flowing again. At the end of the world, the twins reveal the truth to each other. Preya puts the knife in Camilla's hands and convinces Camilla to stab her, an end to the story of the twins crafted by the Weavers. Originally, it was Preya who stabbed Camilla, and now it was the other way around. However, Lirulu at top speed swoops in to stop them before they can go through with it. He is just successful in freezing them in that position, and he continues to plot how to use Clear and Fail to create a new destiny for Camilla and Preya, to forcefully continue their story beyond what the Weavers intended for the twins. And that concludes the chapter, Oblivion. Castle of Batteries. In the song Castle of Battery, it picks up from the events of Checkmate. Since there are multiples of Clear and Fail, I will be referring to them by their timelines. Where we left off in Liberty 3, tensions were high and both sides were preparing for a fight. But weaponized Clear makes the first move, rushing our Clear with the sword we've come to know, backed up by the fake twins. The zombie Clear and School Clear also join in and overwhelms Clear until our Fail comes in to back her up and goes on a rampage, tearing apart the fake twins. Through the battlefield, zombie Fail shoots Clear through the shoulder from afar, Lirulu grinning at the scenario, which makes our Fail go into a rampage and rush the sniper. And after some fighting, overpowering the long-range fighter at close range, she raises her weapon to deliver the coup de grace on the zombie Fail. Lirulu stands behind Fail and, just like with Preya and Camilla, tries to influence Fail, take out her doppelganger. The rest are occupied with their own battle with the maids, and Dain and the Sins are in another part of the castle in the vault with the real twins, calmly while this is all happening. Right when Fail is about to strike the zombie Fail, the whole castle is ripped apart and Fail's weapon is shattered so her strike misses. A huge woman appears who we know as Jormungandr, who we saw in Rerule. The MV ends here, however, story mode picks up directly after the events in the MV. In story mode, we pick up right from Lirulu urging Fail to kill the zombie Fail, and the chapter is titled. He continues stating that if we as the performer love this other Fail more, this universe will end and everyone she loves will disappear. We learn that Dain senses the Weaver, and the whole castle is split into by Jormungandr, which stops Fail's strike as we've seen. Jormungandr speaks incredibly casually and calls Lirulu Lirulu-kun. So it's because of Clear and Fail being precious to Jormungandr that she has come to crash the party. However, she thinks of what Lirulu has done to Camilla and Preya, and kidnapping Clear and Fail from other universe is just amusing. But she says something very interesting, that deletion is outside of Lirulu's jurisdiction, that he is not supposed to be killing Clear and Fail, which is why he is going about killing them in this very roundabout way by making Clear and Fails of different universes kill each other, and that she was the one that wove Clear and Fail. Lirulu doesn't seem scared at all, and is just negotiating with Jormungandr to understand that his vision of destiny is more meaningful somehow. Jormungandr says that Lirulu attempting to delete Clear and Fail, the creation of the Weaver, and then gifting the world and destiny to Camilla and Preya is something she won't allow. That hiding the fates of Camilla and Preya was an impressive feat for Lirulu, since before Lirulu was found out when the twins were moving about and living out the facade. So the move of freezing the twins and hiding them in the vault was probably what made them undetectable to the Weavers, but the Weavers still found out anyway. Jormungandr also commends Diane for doing a good job and receiving a lot of love from the performer. Honestly, sometimes too much love. I've seen some really weird things people have said about Diane. This is a button-pressing video game. So our heroes are kind of realizing that Lirulu and Diane are familiar with Jormungandr, and Lena asks if she knows them. This must be an actual ridiculous experience for them, by the way. They're experiencing what is basically God showing up, and in such a dramatic fashion too. Jormungandr explains to them that she is the weaver of life, and that she wove them, and that it was because of the performer's prayer for the reweaving of El. I interpret this as we as the players wanted a new DJMAX game, we wanted DJMAX to return, but then Diane came along and split Clear and Fail, which we found out in Love and the MV of the song, Diane. Apparently at the time, the Weavers wanted to punish Diane, but the Sins, who I've been calling the 3 Ps, started exploding because of the power of Clay's PSP, and the eye that got transferred to Fail, and the big baby demon that got sealed in Clear's arm. Jormungandr also tells Clear and Fail that they are the favorite children she has woven, and even tells them to call her Yormi. Can you imagine God asking you to call them by a nickname? I'd be completely fried. So Yormi explains that she needs to return the Clear and Fails that Lirulu has kidnapped back to their original world, and for Camilla to finish the job on Freya to complete their revenge and have their destiny be settled. That this entire scenario, orchestrated by Lirulu, was fun. Yormi also says that she will delete the memories with Lirulu, as well as memories of Yormi, which will pretty much put us back to way before the story really started at all. Yormi also says that she will delete Lirulu, and that will be a happy ending for everyone involved, except Lirulu, I suppose. Yormi breaks the fourth wall here and speaks directly to the performer and asks us to forget what we've seen. So if you ever forget anything, you can consult these videos about the lore. Unless Yormi deletes my YouTube account too. But Lirulu seems to welcome his end and doesn't seem to be sad that his plans have failed and he will be deleted. Yormi describes pretty brutally how she'll dismantle Lirulu and throw him away to not reuse his parts at all. However, Clear tries to negotiate with Yormi to weave a happier ending for the twins, that them killing each other is terrible. With all this happening, Fail snaps out of a rampage and nervously says how killing is bad, as if she wasn't just about to kill Fail from the zombie timeline, which Lena points out. Or Clear in the literal first thing you see when you open DJMAX for the first time. Fail still seems to be in a daze, even though I don't think she got hit at all. Despite all this, Clear wants Yormi to give Lirulu another chance, which is kind of crazy. I don't know, I think he should be deleted. Yormi seems just as surprised as me and becomes upset that Clear doesn't see things her way. That special children of destiny become like this quickly. So has a scenario like this happened multiple times before? Fail points out Yormi's pouting, with Lena rightfully telling Fail to be quiet. Yormi then decides to spare Lirulu, which Clear is thankful for, and even grants him the authority to delete Children of Destiny, to make Lirulu fight Clear and Fail to the death for the right to have things their way. If Lirulu wins, he gets to kill Clear and Fail and take their destiny for Camilla and Freya. And if Clear and Fail win, they get to live and Lirulu gets to be forgiven. So Yormi is saying all of this just because Clear and Fail didn't agree with her plan. So Lirulu at the very last second gets another chance to see his plan through, and Yormi declares the start of the fight, and the story ends there. So basically, we finally see the face of a weaver. And it turns out they are crazy, but also that Yormi is just one of multiple weavers, and they must have made other things and worlds. So since we've established that multiple worlds exist, such as the Misty Era world and the Running Girl world, since they participated in the Diane fight in Extension 5, so did some other weaver make those worlds, or was it all Yormi? So not only is there a multiverse, there are gods who are more powerful beyond each individual universe and can create and destroy these worlds at will. I think someone at NeoWiz has read a lot of Marvel comics in their life. So the multiverse is blown open even wider than it already was, that all the worlds are pretty definitively connected, and that there are gods that create, influence, and destroy them. And Lirilu and Dain, who seemed so powerful as an angel and demon with unique authority, are now basically small fry. But right now, we will have to see what happens at the end of the story arc in Liberty 5. So thank you for watching another DJMAX lore video. Apparently every time that there's a new DLC that happens, I get comments on old videos and they tell me, where's the next one, where's the next one? And I really appreciate that, so thank you. So if you'd like to watch more DJMAX content, you can watch my older videos or tune into my stream at twitch.tv/1 autumn tea leaf, where I play DJMAX every week.